Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 4 of the Rewatch Podcast, presented by the Terrible Video Gamers Club. I'm your host, Tyler Schatz, who's waiting for his pumpkin carriage to arrive. Joining me this fine recording session is one Stephen Howard.
Who doesn't really like watching musicals, but impossible things happen every day.
Amanda Howard.
Who actually does enjoy watching musicals, but amazingly, we got everyone to impossibly listen to this one.
One Josh Cox is here as well.
And forgive you if you don't recognize me. I am wearing a slightly brighter shirt than normal.
Nick Castillo is here.
To remind you that you can't marry a man you just met.
Don't tell me what to do, Dad.
Last, but certainly never least, the guy who looks like he's gearing up for a long introduction here, one Gary Delaney.
Kids, this is why you don't do cocaine. Also, if you wondered how much drugs did Whitney Houston do in the 90s, enough to executive produce this made-for-TV movie.
We were just going to throw the sensitivity right out the window on the first comment.
There goes the sponsorship money right then and there.
Right? I am, jokes are coming to mind, and I am cranking them back. I am not going to be dropping those jokes.
Right?
Narcan, official sponsor of this podcast, because we're against cocaine.
Jeez.
Boy, oh boy.
You guys laugh, but if we get that sponsorship, we don't even know what to do with this kind of
I'm just trying to reconcile it with how you sold NOS on the previous sponsorship, where it's like basically sounds like a drug at that point.
Right. We could be sponsored by the Sackler family, guys. Don't worry, they have enough problems.
So I've been reliably informed everyone really loved this movie. That's all I've gotten from you guys in feedback, and that's what I've been hearing.
All right,
favorite movie of this entire season.
Everyone.
Amanda, did you want to just give us like an executive overview?
Before we get there, so the listener knows what we're talking about here. We watched the movie Cinderella, or Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, the 1992?
1997.
97.
Come on.
Made-for-TV movie from Disney.
$12 million budget, which was a lot for the time, apparently.
Where do you look this stuff up?
IMDb.
I just Google budget Brandy Cinderella, and Google tells me this. So AI, if you trust AI scoured the internet to find this answer, because I am not going to scour the internet to find the budget to this movie.
And you've heard it here, folks. We are cutting Gary's position and replacing him with AI.
That's all we need. AI, conspiracy theories, Brandy Cinderella, go.
All right, I'll be right back here. This was Amanda's choice for this episode of the podcast. Amanda, why don't you kind of just hit us off with
a brief synopsis?
As Tyler said, this was Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. And welcome to our first musical episode, guys. We will be singing the rest of the episode starting now.
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was cheap.
So Cinderella, everyone knows the plot to Cinderella. However, this was, when I was little, a personal favorite. We always called it the real life Cinderella. But this one came out in 97, and if I read you the summary from IMDb, it says, although mistreated by her cruel stepmother and stepsisters, Cinderella is able to attend the royal ball through the help of a fairy godmother. That is more or less it in a nutshell. The synopsis is about 3 pages, single space, so we will not be reading that tonight unless you wish to listen to nothing but me for the next hour.
Yes, the synopsis page on IMDb is long.
It's long. Somebody was a huge fan of this thing and just went, I am going to just get this.
Yeah, don't make fun of it, guys. I wrote that. I must have written it myself like 10 years ago, and just before I actually could do a little bit of writing. So it is very... They did put everything in there, though. I am impressed by that. Anyhow, while we have praised music from movies before, notably, I think of some Fast and Furious songs that we really, really loved. Something tells me that these songs will be your guys' new playlists, running playlists, Steven, yeah?
Well, I mean, so as the one person on here who has probably watched this movie other than you, I don't find it all that unenjoyable. I have heard a lot of this music before because you play it a lot. I also have seen it on the movie itself. Yeah, no, you do. You play it. You play it a lot. But anyways, it was like I don't know. I actually enjoy an okay amount of the music. I think there's going to be a little bit of a negative criticism of this movie, and weirdly enough, I don't think I'm going to really be joining in on a lot of it. I kind of enjoyed it.
I am excited to hear your guys' opinions because it won't harm this movie. This one lives in my nostalgia and my childhood and has a pretty solid place. There are aspects of it that have aged over time, and rewatching it this time, I was noting those with an eye for which other people might be seeing, which was interesting. This is one of the first times we've really watched something that like is unique to me. So watching it, thinking what you guys might see, I'm curious to see what you guys might bring up that I thought of. But my first and favorite question off the top of the bat was, what was your favorite song?
Now that you're putting me on a spotlight, I don't know, Impossible, maybe, I guess.
I'm frantically trying to Google the list of the songs, but it's the ones that the sisters sing whenever Brandy and the prince run off. Like,
sure.
That one stood out to me.
That's a
I like
good
that
one.
Yep.
We're gonna win you guys yet.
I'd probably say the Impossible one with Whitney Houston because it's when the magic happens.
It's very classic, like, and Whitney Houston, of course, and Brandy have beautiful singing voices.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also quite the star-studded cast.
Indeed.
You guys name other actors.
A very dated star-studded cast. Very
I wanted
dated.
Whatever. If you, I wanted to bring
stars
up
of the era.
Sure. I wanted to bring up that I knew two people in this movie, and that was Whoopi Goldberg and Whitney Houston, and I didn't know anyone else.
Anybody else?
I feel like I've seen the mother.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, but I'm impressed that Steven knew the names, like the full names of both those actresses.
I do, right?
Wow.
That's progress, guys.
That
But I feel like I've seen the mother before on something. I know I've seen the dad before in something. And I feel like I've seen the butler before in something.
I wrote down a note that from like a weird glance, like looking at the guy who played the king, he almost reminded me of Bob Iger for whatever reason. Disney's CEO. I don't know why. But just if you don't pay, if
you're not like, start, Tyler.
If you're not like staring at it completely, there, it's just like, no, that's not Bob Iger.
The king is, I know him from Alias. He's the dad in a TV show called Alias.
There was that's where I know her from. That's why I know him
from.
He's the law professor in Legally Blonde.
He also played in Titanic, in Argo.
Titanic.
So Jason Alexander was in Seinfeld, and this movie was 97. Seinfeld ended in 98.
First of all, I've never seen Seinfeld. Second of all, who?
Was in a TV show, and her TV show was sunsetting too. So that's why I said this is very much something of the era. Like Jason Alexander would have been a big star of the era. Brandy would have been a big star of that era.
No. Wind back. Who the fuck are these people?
Jason Alexander is the prince's assistant, the balding man with the accent from nowhere. Or everywhere all at once, depending on which moment you're going to listen to.
Yeah. If he wishes to kill me, why doesn't he just run me over in his carriage and get it over with?
There were a couple times he'd say something snarky, and it's totally just Jason Alexander. And there were a couple times he would give a line, and it would have this weird little inflection. It's like, what are you doing?
Like sometimes he's Mario from Nintendo 64. Sometimes he's just George from Seinfeld. Yeah, it's
yeah. Oh, Jason Alexander is totally Seinfeld. That's where I recognize him from. Mm-hmm. But he was in a lot of things.
He's also in Hercules, but
yeah,
it's not.
Is he?
Okay, Hercules, the TV show, the animated series.
No, wait.
movie.
Okay, sorry.
No. No, you're thinking Danny DeVito.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was a Disney movie I'd seen recently. He's one of the gargoyles in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Sorry.
Go.
One Disney movie I have not seen that much of.
He's also in Pretty Woman.
I've not seen that either.
Anyway.
But
as I said,
culture, my friend.
None of these actors have careers anymore, except for maybe Whoopi Goldberg.
It's back from '97, to be fair.
That's 30 years ago.
Victor Garber was literally just in the Gettysburg Address. I'm shocked Steven hasn't been quoting it to us yet.
Which one's Victor Garber?
The king. The king.
No.
The dad. The one that played in Argo.
He's the alias dad.
The other
I'm just trying to remember who he was in that movie.
He was also in the Orville. He's been in he's a very well established actor. He's in so many things. Like if you scroll through his my IMDb, I am literally still scrolling. This is longer than the synopsis.
Googling.
That means something to you guys now.
Googling. Does Brandy still sing?
Right.
Yes, actively singing.
Welcome to
Nothing
the
you
Google
probably come out
podcast.
with.
Yes, she's singing right now. We have a live feed.
I actually, when I was looking at stuff for this movie, I heard that both Brandy and then I don't know his name, the one who played the prince, they reprised their roles in that Descendants show. I haven't watched it.
Oh.
So they reprised the roles as
I guess that would make sense. Disney owns all the IP, so why wouldn't they?
Right, yeah.
Also, I was curious if the reason Disney is doing this is because I'm wondering if their cartoon intellectual property held over, so they still had the rights to it.
Sure.
And because I'm sure it went into the public domain, and then as soon as Disney makes a movie, then no one can copy their version of Cinderella.
Sure.
Well, there were a lot of actors and actresses, and I knew 2 of them. So, it was progress.
Pretty impressive for a Steven point of view there.
Other than the music, because the music is music, and I didn't like the songs purely as a musical, but as a production value alone, this is a TV movie and very, very apparent. The sets look cheap. The choreography looks like it's designed for stage, not for cinema. And the house, Cinderella's house, looked like it was drawn by someone who was drawing Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like it was very much like doodling colors on the walls.
It's a magical theater fantasy world, Gary.
Of the walls.
I loved it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like it's a TV rendition of a stage play.
Adaptation for stage.
So,
That was what I didn't like about it. Is you spent all the money to bring a fancy camera in. Just pretend that you give a fuck. That's
what I didn't like is that they made a movie about this. It's honestly they could have.
That's the problem.
So I'm crossing off what's your least favorite song off the list since we don't want to talk about that. Gary, all of them.
It was okay. It just the sets really took me out of a lot of the I couldn't pay attention because I just kept paying attention to the preschool artwork that was happening in the background.
They blew all the budget on getting the cast they did. They couldn't afford to have good singers.
True. Fair. Starkey.
I'm just confused because I didn't even. I'm struggling to even recall the background scenes. I was so not paying attention to the background.
Okay, there's a staircase. Look at the background of the wall on the staircase. It looks like somebody drawn.
You're missing my point.
On the wall. The doors to the kitchen are literally 2 accordion pieces of wood that they drew a door frame, a zigzag door frame, and then drew a door handle. Nothing. Everything is very much drawn on flat sheets of plywood.
So you're saying it's a made-for-TV movie?
It is a made-for-stage show that somebody brought a camera to.
Only Gary can have 90s stars and big name folks on TV and then bitch about how the scene looks crappy.
So Gary's saying like Art Nouveau is just not his style.
And that's why I had to look at how much it cost. It cost $12 million. It was a made-for-TV movie. It's not like
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't. Like I said, I wasn't really even taken back by any of the screens or anything like that. I mean, if I had been watching the Cinderella, like the first version of Cinderella, the one with the blonde chick who flounces around and talks to birds, that may have brought me out too. But this
were
was
mice,
a little
right?
different.
That does kind of lead into my next question. As a twist on Cinderella, thoughts?
You know, just can't do the DEI these days. I can't believe that they would put that in there. I was very upset. It's 2025.
Oh,
I can't
no.
believe they would do that.
I read
1997.
I read a little bit of the criticism on this movie just to like get the understanding for it. And the very first thing was there were a lot of people who praised the inclusivity of this movie and a lot of people who didn't. And that was the biggest critique against it was people didn't like the twist on it with the different actor choices that they had.
Yeah, one of the weird things I saw that there was like also an uproar against how it was a more feminist appealing Cinderella story, which like
really
maybe I just don't remember the original Cinderella comparatively, but like it feels like the same sort of thing in that sense. But
isn't it supposed to be in sort of?
Yeah, like I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying like it's the same story. I think either way.
It's slightly more like in terms of if you watch like the other Cinderella movie. I don't want to call it the original because Cinderella's has been a story that's been around for quite a while before Disney made it theirs. Well, the original Disney movie for it. This is a little bit more because she's not. It's not quite 100% the trope of waiting for a man to rescue you. Like she actually does leave on her own. Spoiler.
Oh, sure.
Sorry, guys.
Isn't that anti-feminist though? Because maybe I'm way off in my understandings, but isn't feminism about women empowerment? Wouldn't it be waiting for a man to save you anti that?
Yeah, that's I think what she's trying to say is that the original one was waiting for a man to save you. This one was more go out and seize the day.
Yeah, and she had her own thoughts and dreams and things. So like it's not a huge amount, but it's enough that especially in the 90s, like I felt a big difference as a kid, I know.
Yeah, she wanted to go on an African safari, and I just don't think that women should, you know.
I was wondering like I didn't see any of her going after her own hopes and dreams, but now that I think about it, there's a couple scenes where Whitney Houston is like, you got to go out and seize the day, and you don't need the man to come find you. If you want him, go talk to him, and that I get. Okay, now I'm seeing it.
You just mentioned Whitney Houston. Was Whitney Houston wow in this movie? Like, did she wow you, or did she seem like she was there contractually?
Gary's unloading his hate.
She wowed me, but I might be seeing it through rose-tinted glasses.
I don't think she was bad.
Was she
made the
2020? Was she 2025? Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of you, Steve. Was she 2025 amazing? No. But she sang, and a couple times she did the crap with her voice, and I was like, I can't do that crap.
Well, vibratos.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing it back from the hate of Whitney Houston. I more thought that in terms of the people pursuing their dreams, I tried paying attention a little bit more to the plot this time, and one of the things was that they both felt caught in their daily lives. They both felt caught, and they wanted to go out and experience more, which I feel like Cinderella does get that, sort of, hey, she becomes, I guess, a princess, and she's now trapped as a princess, so you can go into that thing. But the prince is also saying that for a long time, that he wants to get out, he wants to do more. He does not get a necessarily happy resolution to that. That he gets a wife. That's about it. So I was a little struck by that, and obviously you have to be paying more. The movie's Cinderella. The movie is not. I don't know what his name even was, but the movie's not Prince Charming.
Christoph.
They gave all of his names. They sang them several times.
Yeah, I did not pay attention.
That was a crazy song. I think that you hit a good point there, Stephen. I do think that he several times sung about how he wanted to like find love on his own terms. He kind of gets that. It's flimsy as far as character growth.
Yeah. See, poor Prince. He's kind of limited. Can't leave the kingdom.
I
Can't
will
choose
be the
another
one to
career.
say it. He is really hot. I will be the one to say that.
I was curious. His real life name is Paulo Montalban. Is that related to the other?
That sounds right.
Montalban? Isn't
Ricardo
Montalban?
Indigo Montalban.
I thought.
Yeah, am I making this up or what? No, not that guy. Get his name out of here. total deep dive cut on our inside jokes here. Isn't Ricardo Montalban who played Khan? Not a relation to him at all. I didn't.
That sounds like right for the name of Khan. As to if they're related, I don't know.
I did not know that.
Just Montalban grabbed my attention. I had a note somewhere. Where's my phone?
He was born to Paul and Vivian
played
Montalban.
Piano, and he had 2 aunts who played the violin and piano at Juilliard. So he's not related, as far as I can see.
He just wants to keep it on the down low so that no one thinks he's trading on his uncle's fame.
Smart. Those random podcasters with their one listener would be onto that kind of crap.
It's true. I was also, one of the funny things that I was thinking about while I was watching this was, when Christoph, or whatever his name is,
Christopher.
He walks around and he has his shirt off, obviously, for the ladies. And one of the things that I thought when I saw him was, you see him doing all this stuff, and I'm just imagining the time he has to take every single day to go work out to keep that body. And they're not going to show that in Cinderella, but it's like, oh my God, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to do that now. That was funny to me, because they portray his life as absolutely kind of perfect but boring, and it's don't portray the monotonous things that he would have to do to basically keep that up.
See, it's kind of funny that you'd mention that, because like every perfect female that protagonist that you see in other things has to do the same thing, but that would never ever be like brought up. Like if they want to be in that perfect hot shape, it's a crap ton of work that goes into that. You'll never see them do that in the movie.
No retort. Wow.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Steven.
I feel like that is a thing that I would bring up personally, but I don't watch any other.
No, I'm not saying that you wouldn't bring it up. I just think it's funny that like other movies didn't show that for the women too.
In terms of the prince having his shirt off, I was most taken aback whenever he had his shirt and put it on, and then it was not fully buttoned, and then he put his vest on and fully fastened the vest, and it very much threw me off for a while, because it just was unbuttoned, then the vest, and then just flowing. It really threw me off. And then he tucks the shirt, and it's just like, it's unbuttoned. What are you doing? This doesn't make any sense.
That's the style.
That was where the movie lost me, but it was just a strange thing. But
I did enjoy the interaction with him and his parents. I will say that. I think you'd more expect like he goes in and he wants to just try and find true love, and his mom's like, wed, bed, bread. That is your job here. And it's the dad that has to go, all right, well, let's take a little bit of a step back. And then the part that I loved was when he's talking to them, and like he basically kind of just storms out of the room, and the dad just looks at Oprah Winfrey and goes, that went well, and just turns around and she does not notice, just goes about her business. They both played a fantastic job. I loved his parents. They were funny, and they were engaging.
Yeah, the squeals from Whoopi Goldberg every single time were just an aghastment. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, I do think the parents were just perfect. I loved their chemistry between each other, just how their vibe of how they worked. I know that people either loved the multiracial casting or hated it based on various different reasons that they tell themselves. But I loved it for normalizing it, and I thought they made the perfect little family. Like, it was completely believable.
Very cute.
I like the fact that they don't even mention it. Like, there's no, it's just, it is what it is. There is no like flaunting it. There's no anything. It just is what it is, and I enjoy that. I think they did it very, very well.
Mm-hmm. It was ahead of its time.
No notes. I agree with Steven.
That I will. I will say one of the things that I did not like necessarily, and this might not even be a criticism of this show so much as just the story of Cinderella, is the evil stepmom and the evil step twins or whatever they are. And just, I get, from a storytelling perspective, it takes me out of the story, just because there's no redeeming qualities there. Does the mother sing about love and apparently she was jolted at one point? Sure. Do we get any resolution on that? No. Wait.
Oh. It was interesting.
I'm going to disagree with Steven on the stepsisters. I actually thought that they were like better caricatures of stepsisters than in other iterations, where they were just like, they weren't overly abusive towards Cinderella. They were just kind of in their own heads. They're airhead. There's two airhead sisters who didn't realize they were up on a pedestal with their mother, and how they have blinders on to how poorly they treat their stepsister. But I didn't think they were overly rude or mean. They just knew they were better than her, or thought they were better than her, but they weren't overly mean to her like I think I've seen in other iterations where I don't know. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. I thought they could have been much meaner, but I thought that they were just kind of airheads, like, was kind of refreshing.
That's fair.
When I actually first started watching this movie, I tried to have my daughter watch with me. And she made it about 15 minutes in with this very furrowed brow. She kept getting annoyed because she kept saying, "They're mean. That's not nice." And obviously, kids' TV shows have changed in the years since this has come out, and Cinderella isn't even older than 1997. But I think Steven's right. Like, I wonder what a version of Cinderella today would do, because you can't. Is it Cinderella without the evil stepmother and stepsisters? And yet, I did want to ask you guys what you thought about the couple of hints for the stepmother of like her not always being this bad, or that she like was truly in love with Cinderella's father. There was a couple of very tiny little hints, but I always loved. I noticed those as a kid, and I always loved that. It made it more complicated than just evil good. Go ahead.
I would agree with that. I think that when they're singing the song about how it was a wonderful night, a lovely night, and the mother chimes in too, like she's had her romances as well, and I think that she really did fall in love. And it's not until she sees Cinderella singing about her wonderful night that she like has this weird crash zoom moment of like, oh, I'm angry at her and she can't have wonderful things too. And that's when she turns evil and says that her dad was weak. I think that it makes her at least a little bit deeper of a character. I like those nuances.
So I heavily compare this version of Cinderella to what I've more recently watched, which is the movie Into the Woods, which has a version of Cinderella in it, which does have stepsisters, and I enjoyed much better because it was more my jam of production value. But yeah. I can't remember what the original question was. Nick just threw me off.
If you are not going to create a $700 million film directed by Steven Spielberg, written by Stephen King, and acted by A-list actors down to the D-list of the show, Gary doesn't want to watch your piece of shit.
I'm sorry, Into the Woods, created by Steven Sondheim, directed by Rob Marshall. Like,
I have complicated feelings about Into the Woods, so I'm gonna have to actually explore that theme further. I am very interested that you love that movie so much.
But I don't hold it in great regard. It was the first time watching. I was like, oh, they're singing and it's okay, like, because it's a musical, but there's a little more levity in it, and it doesn't follow one character, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. It was a mystery. I already knew what the story of Cinderella was, so it was no mystery. I was just on the boat tour waiting to get off the ride.
Did you watch Into the Woods because of this movie? Or what drew you to that though then?
Disney Plus had it, and I was like, I recognized a lot of the very similar premise, like
a lot of A-listers,
popular actors of the day thrown into a Disney movie.
So what I'm
and it was on Disney Plus. And
is that Gary is getting pulled down a rabbit hole of more movies like this. of more musicals.
You didn't pull me down the rabbit hole. I don't hate musicals. I just thought that the music in this movie could have been better. I thought that it is a made-for-TV movie. Like, it's not my jam.
You just wait until
I can't hold against anyone else for enjoying it. It's just not my jam.
You wait until I force us to watch My Date with the President's Daughter. You just wait. But
That's a good movie.
it's also but
It's also aged.
I was gonna, and I don't know, maybe JC, do you have a question that relates to this? Because mine might take us a little different way.
It was just kind of tangentially related to the music. But
I was just wondering. So one of the things that I guess we're talking about right now is just how closely related some of these different movies are. Does the setting of Cinderella limit this movie? Because I mean, you can only really do so much with it, and it make it still Cinderella, and that's they don't really have a lot of. They have some creativity, but creative. What did I just say?
I liked yours better, actually.
Yeah,
wow.
That's good.
Got some creativity for this one.
Creativity.
Creative freedom is what I was trying to say, but it is eventually limited by you have to make it about Cinderella, and Cinderella basically has to find a Prince Charming with evil stepsisters.
Yes. I feel like it limited them a little bit.
I feel like I could believe that there was definitely a limited, like, people were watching it and they knew what they expected and they didn't stray they didn't try to go off the beaten path at all and surprise the audience. Nick?
I feel like the story, the overall arc is the same, but they found little moments to interject in there. Like, I don't think there's any other. The prince is throwing a ball and naming 12 different names, and a sudden 15-minute interjection of everybody in town dances the same choreography. Like, none of that is in any other iteration of Cinderella that I'm aware of. It's just, there's a ball and people show up. So I think that they were able to expand small little sections where they felt they could, but overall the story is the same. Yeah.
So, kind of tying into this conversation, my original question about the music and how it goes. This is a remake of a 1957 version, right? Has anybody seen that previously here?
The originally drawn one, right?
No. There's a Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella, which is the made-for-stage musical adapted as a made-for-TV movie released in 1957.
I knew it was one. I have not seen it.
Yeah, in terms of, like, this might not be the first one where the prince is having a ball and they all dance in the same choreography, because it's the same overall musical. I think it's, from what I've read at least, it sounds like the more the racial diversion and the more feminist bent towards Cinderella, and this one, that seems novel for this version of it. But I think at some point the music is probably very similar, if not the same, because it's Rodgers and Hammerstein. It's not Brandy and Whitney's. So there's aspects there that was curious if anybody had seen it to compare how those versions worked. But
this is blowing my mind. It stars Julie Andrews. Holy crap!
Yeah.
How have I not heard more about this?
I've got to assume JC's right on that,
because it was
though.
a Broadway, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's like I was going to say.
I'm struggling to find it. I found a 1977 version. Is there a different one?
Yeah, 1957 is the
Tyler
original.
put it in the chat.
Yeah,
I think I found an R-rated version of Cinderella. Never mind.
All right, buddy.
I'm not surprised, but
get out of incognito mode.
Yeah, put your name to it.
I was gonna say it's like having Wicked without having one of their songs from Wicked. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you're gonna remake Wicked, you're gonna have Defying Gravity in every single one of them.
Right. Oh, I can't compare it to anything, JC.
And to an extent, I think it lends to, like, did it need to be Cinderella or could it have been something else? Also, it's that sort of thing that it's the chance for a new generation to tell their version of that story. So there's almost especially in the musical world, you have that aspect of, or in the stage play world, you have that aspect of a new crop of folks coming in and giving their twist to the story. So I think there's probably more problematic things to say, like, oh, why can't you guys with your racially diverse cast, why can't you go off and do something different, and we'll have someone else do Cinderella later. It's all right. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. could they have potentially gone and had a more extreme take on social issues or something like that if it wasn't Cinderella? Probably, but they get to have a little bit of both, and making it Cinderella means more people get to put eyes on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess for the time, yeah, the racially blind casting is probably the big narrative of it, compared to, I didn't even know that there was I mean, there was a previous TV version, or I didn't know there's an R-rated version that I clicked off of, and now I kind of want to.
There's an R-rated version.
None of us know.
You clicked off it, sure, Gary. You clicked away from it.
The rest of us were fine not knowing the R-rated version.
Gary's got that browser going
Right,
on
guys?
the side.
I reopened it up. Stop judging me.
But I think that getting back to what I was saying, I do think it's a little limited in terms of just the scope of what it can do, just because it is a remake of what it is. So I don't, and especially if it being a remake for a made for TV movie, that's a very limited scope you have there. You can't go crazy on everything because it's it by existence limited. So I will say though, one nugget of information for the viewer is that although Amanda could not get our daughter to watch this movie, and instead had her ask for football because I have had a large impact on that portion of her life, I was in fact able to get her to sit down with me and watch the entire movie. And although she had her furrowed brow the entire time, somewhat judging everybody in the movie, she did come away, and I asked her who her favorite person was, and she said Cinderella. So that was nice.
Yeah. So we both tried watching this with her without the other parent present. I got 20 minutes in. She said she was all done. She wanted football. And I said, well, Mommy really likes this movie, so we're going to watch a little more of it. This did not go well. She didn't like it. She said they were mean. So yeah, I'm a little jealous that Steven got her to watch it. We'll see. This one does, like, I think your guys' points are about that, like you said, Cinderella. We all know how Cinderella's going to end. You would need to live under a rock somewhere to not know how the movie more or less is going to end. But it's interesting. I don't know if it's just nostalgia or if it's from the childhood or because I know that it's going to end that way. I'm looking for the interesting twist, and I've always loved it. Then again, I could technically claim that, like, I would know how a Fast and Furious movie is going to end, just not the details of the crazy ending. But I know it'll be crazy and I know it'll be explosions. But no music.
I did come away. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I did come away enjoying this movie, like going through it all, and I didn't expect it. I'll be very honest. I did not expect to enjoy the movie, but going through it, being able to watch it with my daughter, and it having some fun moments in it that were just, I don't know, just neat to have. I guess it did end up being a fun experience for me, and so that was something I wasn't expecting. I don't know if anyone else had something similar to that at all.
Yeah, I was going to say I liked it. I have seen this play, the Rodgers and Hammerstein's version here, on stage, but I've never seen this movie. I knew that one with Brandy from the 90s existed, but I'd never actually seen it. So it was fun to watch. I have a theater degree. That's what my undergrad is. And so it was definitely right up my alley. I'll admit it was a little dated watching it now, 30 years later. But yeah, the music's very catchy. Like it or not, it's one of those things that, like, you hear it and you're kind of like, oh, that's where that song's from. And then you kind of like find yourself humming it in your head a little bit with the chorus later on. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did not watch it with my kids, but they're I'm currently obsessed with Coco, so that's the only thing that they'll put on anytime now. So, but at some point, it's absolutely something I could see myself putting on for them because it's just a nice version of the Cinderella story. And we mentioned that it's dated, but it's because they have like very cheesy swirls for the magic effects and things like that. It's not like the things we've had lately where it's like, oh, it's a little dated because they just do horrible words or they are who knows what. So it's just the fun sort of dated, but in terms of it's made for TV acting, but it's not necessarily, I don't feel like it's not bad in any sort of notable way either. It's just it's serviceable, and especially in a musical, you're here for this. The acting gets you from number to number.
Along those lines, in terms of what didn't age well, I did notice a couple things. This thing in term, like near the beginning, especially, Cinderella mentioned something like, or not Cinderella, I'm sorry, the prince. He says, "Oh, you're not like most girls," and instantly I was like, "Oh, that phrase."
Right.
That's a fairly recent
compliment. Come on, guys.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so there's the little things. Like, there's a lot of things that are like aged as well as any other movie from the 90s did. But is there anything else you guys noticed particularly did not age as well? A little bit of slapstick humor, maybe I would note.
Yeah, there was the poor butler was the quote unquote butt of some jokes with especially like at one point my daughter goes, "Oh, he fall?" Because it was when they're moving him on the ladder, and I'm like, "Oh, he's not gonna fall," and then they let him fall, and they just kind of walk away like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Okay, so he did fall, but he got back up."
It is sort of a Three Stooges level of like, who moved the ladder comedy, I guess is how I describe it. Like,
definitely items with the butler when he's like getting tossed around in the princess throwing a ball scene too. He's like dancing back and forth with the cake, and it's like comical that obviously it's not a real cake. But again, it's kind of designed for kids in a younger generation, so I thought that was pretty good. The one thing that didn't age well to me sticks out at the very end when the prince finds Cinderella again, and he's talking about like that they'll live happily ever after together, and she has a line something like I'll be your devoted servant, and I was like, ooh, girl.
Well, but I think that was actually kind of a cool. I think that was actually at the ball, right? And she says, "I'll be your devoted servant," and he says,
something like that. Yeah,
I already have enough servants.
Servants I have. Yeah,
I want someone to be able to talk to, and that was kind of neat.
It was very good. Yes.
Yeah, she was almost too sweet there, like you said. Not too sweet.
Yeah.
Not that sweet.
Yeah. And I alluded to it with my intro, but I feel like this is the most egregious version of Cinderella looking exactly the same in the opening as she does during the ball, and the prince still going, "Who is this person? I've never seen her before."
Well, I had a question about that. Do you guys think in the first scene that they recognize? Obviously, he doesn't recognize her, and that's the Batman thing. She changes her hair, and now you can't tell who she is. But do you think she recognizes him as the prince? Because it doesn't seem like it until the very end, the end one. I don't think she realizes like he's the prince. He's incognito, or I think he's supposed to trying to be incognito.
They just figure it out. I don't always. I always wondered like. It would make more sense to me if it was just a chance encounter and then there was like a couple of months that went beyond and they just both thought about it or something. But if it's like the very next day is the ball or something.
They have the same word interchange at the end too, right? Oh, Cinderella,
word for word.
You. Ha ha ha.
But I think that is where they actually both realize, oh, we did meet each other in the thing. When they're dancing together, there's no way she doesn't recognize him and he doesn't recognize her. I don't feel like they do.
Because he's talking about how overcome he is with this beautiful new girl he met and how she's so pretty, and it like stops his song dead in their tracks as they stare at each other. And then they goes to the ball, and then he's trying to find a girl to dance with. It's like he's not even thinking about, oh, I already met a girl.
He does make a comment about like, I had the funniest feeling I'd met you somewhere before, and like either she has no idea or she doesn't want to give it away because she says like
I don't think so, or something like that.
Like I'm sure I would remember, and I'm like,
see, and that's
not.
The thing. It's not. She's just not Batman in this world. everyone is Batman in this world, and if you change your hair, no chance, man, no chance.
And then they have to use
But-
this shoe. I mean, it's always been a joke. Like you can't find anyone else with the exact same size shoe. People share shoes all the time.
Well, my question was, and this is also a Cinderella story question, why doesn't the shoe change back? Why does everything else but the shoe change back?
Disney magic.
It's the MacGuffin.
Yeah, that's a very valid question. Everything else is like poof, but that slipper stays for all eternity, apparently.
What do the shoes start as? The shoes are like her normal shoes, though. Like she doesn't like the servants are mice, the horse are mice, the carriage is a pumpkin, and you see the the pumpkin like smushed at the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just now realizing you also don't realize you don't ever get to see what actually happens to the horse in these ones. At least in the animated version, you see like they're her friend mice, right? So they come back with her. But in these ones, who knows? A hawk got them.
Oh.
Oh, Steven, ruining a favorite movie for me.
Nice.
That's why they're not by the pumpkin. They're probably
Right.
snapped.
That's why the pumpkin's smashed, man.
I don't know. She's probably just wearing whatever like loafers or peasant shoes she has.
They look like the straight up like what I in my mind remember is like the 90s mom slippers, like those just like very flat rubber soled things with just the very basic level of furry top. Like at the very end, whenever she slips it out to try on this glass slipper, it was like that just took me back. I'm like, oh, okay, this might be the most dated thing about this movie to me.
Maybe it's because when she's leaving, she knows the magic's ending. So everything she takes with her, the magic ends. But he still believes in the magic, and the slipper was left behind. So that's why it's glass.
So what you're saying is if he just believed enough.
Well, if she believed enough, maybe she'd still have the carriage.
She did doubt.
You believe. If you believe hard enough, your car's a carriage.
True. Else.
I had a thought when watching this, which is completely random, but this is what the perfect place for those random thoughts is. The name of Cinderella, she likes to sit by the fire and her face gets smudged, but she also seems to like not be a huge fan of that. So why does she still introduce herself as Cinderella? Is her name Ella? Does she not like Cinderella? Why'd you call yourself that?
Holy crap!
Maybe
is
that's
her
her
name
pickup
like?
line.
Are those two names? Is it Cinderella? Like
I thought
Don't-
the
you
Ella
can't do
was
this
a
to me.
feminine
You
version
can't.
of Cinder.
Like, I actually had several books of like Cinderella twists that I read in middle school, high school, growing up, and like they all did various things of like, oh no, my name is Cinderella. There's nothing about cinders, or my name is Ella, and my evil stepsisters added the cinders on, or blah blah blah. But in this movie, she says something about like, my name is Cinderella, and he's like, Cinderella. And she says, I sit by the fire, and then my face gets smudged. And he goes, oh, Cinderella. And she says, it grows on you, I guess. Like, so clearly she's not a fan. So did she pick the name? Is she assigned the name? Why did she say her name is that if she doesn't seem to be a huge fan?
Her sisters have beat it into her. That's all she's allowed to say. So that's just how she introduces herself.
she's Stockholmed.
Exactly. I like the thought of her name is Ella, but her sister's color's Cinderella.
Right?
That makes more sense to me.
This is changing the entire movie for me. I'm not okay with it.
Maybe Cinder is her surname. Maybe she's the
Cinder,
Ella
comma,
of Cinder.
Ella.
Cinder, comma, Ella, and they just took out the comma. It was a.
She is Ella.
It was an
the
Excel
daughter of
error.
Cinder.
Sorry, we removed the comma.
Cinder, comma Ella,
That's her
an
town.
administrative fairy tale.
Ella of Cinder.
That is the version of Cinderella I want. Cinder, comma, Ella, an administrative fairy tale.
Also a musical though, so you have to pick and choose.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are coming up with whole new books for me here.
Right.
Mhm.
The only other thing in this movie that I wasn't a huge fan of was, and I kind of alluded to it as well, but how her mother doesn't get a parent, or her stepmother, sort of gets a, hey, my life was bad and this is why I'm making everyone else's life's bad. But there's no resolution for her or her sisters, and it kind of seems like she just drops her sisters, like, peace out, chicks, I'm gone.
Jerks.
They were jerks, but I mean, in this sort of movie, it almost feels like you'd want some sort. And the sisters had those moments of they're listening to Cinderella and they have to be
Yeah.
drawn back by their mom. So you're almost like, hey, they're going to come to realize at the very end that this is for the best. I'm glad you found it, sort of thing. And it does not seem that way. It just kick them to the curb, and it might be a correct ending to the fairy tale. It's just maybe a little brutal for me, and that might just be my new age ethics.
That, I think, does get hemmed in by the Cinderella storyline. Like, I mean, again, I haven't seen this one exception with Julie Andrews, but I don't think there's any stories where the other stepsisters or the stepmother get resolution or turn a new leaf. I think they're all just kind of evil and left out in the cold at the end. Because the story ends and it's like, you found the princess, and bam, like, that's it. Like, happily ever after. And there's not really, like, this at least even showed, too, the doors closing on them, and they're kept out of the king's
That's just
castle.
it. They're trying to climb up, and
Yeah, like nothing. Like that was even more of screen time than I think in the other Cinderella versions that I've seen, which isn't much.
more brutal though. Like,
Yeah.
at least in the other ones you can kind of make it up, and this one you're like, no, she fucking closed the door on them.
So,
There was-
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yours
so
is
really
in the
quick,
same vein.
Yeah, do you think that they're still all right because they do get her house? Like, was the evil stepmother keeping Cinderella around because technically she's partly owning the house, or there's several allusions to, it's my father's house, I'm not going to leave my house, I promised you I would never leave. So, like, if she's in the castle, then does the stepmother, like, say, well, I'd rather have, marry the king or whatever, but I'll get the house then? It's not like they're, like, out in the cold per se. They're just not royalty.
My headcanon is that she sends the troops back to the place and evicts them and sends them to dungeons, and they die there.
Then yes, that is very brutal, and she's a bitch.
I'd like to revise my score. It's now higher. Yes.
I read this, Stephen. I read a great version of a Cinderella story that I think you would actually like, where it takes place after after the end of the movie. Theoretically, the story that only for her to find out she doesn't know anything about this guy. They're terribly suited. The entire castle administration thing is this thing set on, like, keeping them where they are, and spoiler, she ends up running off with some other guy, and the castle, in order to avoid a PR disaster, just takes the first stepsister that answers the door back and puts her in her place to pretend to be her. So there's the resolution you didn't know you needed.
It's like The Witcher. Thank you for laughing. It makes me feel better about myself.
I'm sorry. I didn't get it.
Sorry. That's for potentially two of us listening to this. Me here on the podcast and our one potential listener if they're into The Witcher.
Yes.
I know The Witcher, but I didn't get the reference.
It's from the books.
Oh. Remember? Doesn't read. Can't read.
Illiterate.
Except for reads all the IMDb information and reads the budget and has all the commentary. Like,
I mean, I have AI find me the budget. I don't read.
You don't
articles
sift through things.
Sift through articles.
AI brings you the exact sentence you need to read and nothing more. You just need the gist.
Yeah.
I had a point to bring back a little bit more onto the music side of things. This does have some really classic music in it from this movie, and some big show-stopping performers as well. Bernadette Peters is like Broadway royalty.
Mm-hmm.
It's the stepmother, and so she plays a very one-dimensional character in the movie, but she is no slouch. Like, she's been in numerous Broadway shows, and when she does sing, I noted a couple times, I was like, oh, yes, there she is.
I knew she was in a lot of other things, but I honestly couldn't think of something.
I also
Especially-
forgot, just because Whoopi Goldberg is a little older now, too, I forgot that she was also a really good singer. Like, she's also in a movie called Sister
got
Act.
Love Sister Act. Sister Act
that
2
she-
as well.
Yeah, that she sings her heart out in, which is also really good. So, I'm pretty sure Jason Alexander, even from Seinfeld, like that he's got a background with some Broadway stuff too, because he was a couple times I thought it looked like it was more a stunt performer, just playing his double in the background, bouncing around. But a couple times I thought too that he might have some Broadway choreography, moving around, dancing, whatever. And Brandy, just being a singer, performs. So, yeah.
Is there any song of Brandy's that I would recognize?
I feel ashamed that I can't name them off the top of my head, but give me a second.
I don't actually know her music.
I'm pretty sure there's one that I can.
As a kid, this was her music to me.
I didn't realize she was a singer until you guys were telling me this. So.
So, the first one, that comes to my mind, and this is totally like painting a picture of who Nick was as a kid, was I broke my Space Jam CD. I listened to that thing so much. But she has a song on there
Be honest,
called...
it wasn't a CD, it was a cassette. Let's not pretend you had CDs. It was a cassette.
Not that old, douche. My 8-track.
Yeah, whatever.
She sings a song on there called "For You I Will," which is a really sweet, slow song.
There was other songs in the
yeah.
Space Jam CD besides R. Kelly's "I Believe I Could Fly."
I say that's again. I'm not saying I didn't listen to R. Kelly's.
Welcome to the
Space
Space Jam.
You were saying
Yes.
Space Jam,
Come
and I was
on.
like, I was thinking of the actual like hype up Space Jam song. Like,
Are you wanting me to jam out right now to Quad City DJs? Is that your challenge, Gary? Because I will throw down.
I did consider bringing up Space Jam when we were debating movies to bring for this, but it wasn't one that I watched so much.
Spotify has Brandy's #1 song as "The Boy Is Mine."
Boy Is Mine.
374 million plays.
Just looking at that.
was she
Following up.
East Coast or West
I want to
Coast
be down.
rap?
Have you ever?
I've never heard of any of these.
Oh, Sitting Up in My Room. Yeah, that's another good one. Sitting Up in My Room.
Well, she's like
Missing You.
Mississippi South, right?
I believe so.
So technically, I guess East Coast.
That Brandy 1994. I think I had that CD. The cover art looks really familiar.
To move off of Brandy's song
Discography?
Yeah.
Discography is the word you're looking for.
Yes.
I will say the one other faux pas that I noticed in this movie during the wedding, everyone is wearing white. What jerks!
You guys mentioned looking up the IMDb. There's a section on there that says goofs, and it says at one part in the song when they're singing about a lovely night and Cinderella's dancing with the stepsisters. At one point, they dance around the room, and you can see the film crew in one of the mirrors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and try and catch that, but yeah. One of the mirrors on the wall.
They found a Starbucks cup on one of the tables.
Couple of water bottles hiding underneath the chairs.
But yeah, enjoyable enough movie.
It's fun.
I find this movie highly quotable, was just probably because I like it so much. Were there any quotes that stuck out to you? Will you be quoting at each other? Tyler, no.
I would do the songs.
I liked the Seinfeld dude, whatever his name is. I liked his quote about normal people. You don't want to be with a normal people. I am a normal people. Did you see me?
That was good.
That was good.
He's got a couple good ones in there.
He does. He's a very fun. He was one of my favorite characters in there. He was very funny.
So, what was
Doesn't
Tyler's
roll.
review? Obviously, I don't like it. It's nothing personal. Nick is a musical theater major. What was Tyler's opinion?
He
seems
doesn't like
a
it, but
little
it's
more-
personal.
I mean, are we at that point in the podcast here, or
I
Yeah.
I like that. It's
I'm-
Gary is I don't like it, but it's not personal. Tyler's might be I don't like it and it's personal. What's the next step above that?
I don't like you.
Right. I love the
Hey,
movie.
Jake, on-
I really, just
Yeah.
let me lay into you now.
Religious grounds.
Steven mentioned his favorite character is the butler, who, by the way, is just totally not appreciated for the genius and wonderful character that he is. Favorite characters from all you?
Probably the butler. He's just the only, the only levity in the movie.
Only levity.
Levity. Ouch.
Yes, it was such a dour production from top to finish,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for Jason Alexander. No, I enjoyed him. Like I said, the accent just coming and going as he pleased was always a fun time too. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the combo of the king and queen. I just really enjoyed their interactions together.
They are a great duo.
I like Lionel, the butler. I think that there's a trope. I forget what the actual writing cliche term is, but like he kind of represents the audience in the scenes. Like he's the rational, witty, comical person who sees the situation for the ridiculousness that it is.
Audience surrogate?
Something like that, yeah. Whereas like everybody else is like, oh, love, head in the clouds, and the gritty cynicism of the stepsisters and the stepmother. Whereas he's just like in the middle, like, this is a ridiculous situation. He's like, is there anybody young? Any other women in the house? Me. Anybody younger than you? Like the obvious joke that everybody's thinking, but he just plays right to the other characters. I think he's my favorite.
I think as a kid, my answer would have been Cinderella, but watching this again, the butler, the mother, the queen king duo is up there. Honestly, I am a fan of how the stepmother portrayed herself. I think Bernadette Peters did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
She had just enough of a little bit of believability in there to add a twist to the very extreme stepmother example before us.
This is off the wall. Have any of you seen the movie Enchanted with Amy
Yes.
Adams? Yes.
You know this song too? Oh, they know that song also.
Yeah, it's also Disney, go figure. But it's making fun of all the tropes in these types of movies. And there's a point at one part just jumped to my head here where Amy Adams is introducing who the people are in her life, and she's like, yeah, and this is my stepmother. And the people in the show are like, oh, and she goes, oh no, she's nothing like that. Like the trope is that stepmothers are evil, mean, condescending people. So it's not just like this is how she's playing a character. It's like that's who she's meant to be. So I think that Bernadette Peters does a good job in this context of being evil, but trying to show a different side with some of the songs she sings and the way she interacts with herself.
Yeah, well then I would say if you're gonna do that though, then close the loop. If you're gonna open the thread, close the loop. Like if you're gonna say I had my heart broken once, and that's why I'm gonna be an ass to you, well then okay, expand on that slightly. Give me anything other than your just 1-2 sentences of I have a backstory. Hope you didn't want to hear it.
There could have
They
been
could have done another song with it.
Yeah. Musical, everybody sings. It had this little 2-minute flip back where she's talking about lovely night laying on the couch, and it the 90s classical wavy lines that means we're going to travel through time. And then have her sing a little bit about like a young her when she meets Mr. Cinder of the House of Cinder, first of his name. and they get together and like he's wonderful, but she perceived him as weak. So either he got sick or he saw somebody else. I don't really see that because that would weaken his character. But something about how she felt jilted or she felt betrayed, either because he died or whatever. And then it comes back to her singing about that would make a little bit more sense to what Steven's point is, I think. That when she sees her, like maybe you could frame the camera that like she sees him in his moment of weakness, and then it wavy lines back to her singing on the steps, and she projects her anger onto Cinderella, and that's where that weird transition comes where she stops the song. Something.
I will say I am glad that, and I think in the original Cinderella, the actual like fairy tale version of it, I'm pretty sure the sisters like cut off the backs of the heels or their toes to fit into the glass slipper. So I'm glad they didn't go for that.
I think you're right. Like some of those old Grimm's fairy tales and like the
Oh
original.
my god,
these things they're dark.
They're dark as shit. I have it right here, actually.
There'd be a lot of furrowed brows these days for kids watching stuff like that.
Fairy tales.
It's a made-for-TV movie. What are the kids gonna say?
Well, Cinderella's German, French. What is it? Because each of these actually have a nuanced region where they're from.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because
I think it's a
Rapunzel's
Parisian.
German.
Yep.
Beauty and the Beast's French. Cinderella, I want to kind of say it's French also, but I'm not positive.
I think it's French as well.
French, I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to get anywhere in here.
Steven, look it up. You got the book right there.
I tried. I was trying.
Gary, what is AI?
Not trying to pigeonhole folks, but some of the German fairy tales are the darkest. So.
What was that? I heard my name. Was I supposed to say?
I was just curious if you had AI pulled up ready to answer the question about the origin of Cinderella.
See, conspiracy theory. Cinderella actually was something terrible out of like one of those tales, and that's why her stepmother treats her the way she does.
Ooh.
I like it.
Are you telling me that Cinderella is actually Naruto? That's a joke for all the anime fans?
Cinderella does not have a single national origin. The story exists in many versions across different cultures and time periods. Most familiar in the West, based on the 17th century French tale of Charles Perrault.
That's how French names are pronounced, yep. Perrault.
Perrault. You have the hard T. Hard T.
Perrault.
Double birds.
With a guess at the end. Perrault.
That throws all the theories on her name out the window, because if Cinderella is from the Cinders and that's a play on English words, how does that work? Steven, look up in your book.
I just showed you the book. I can't do that.
You can't show me the book and then tell me like, here it is. That you have to look it up for me.
Conspiracy theory. Steven is in fact illiterate.
He spends a long time staring at books, if that's true.
Yes. It takes me a long time to put together those letters, Amanda. The ABCs are real hard.
He gets real. That's why he gets so irritated when you interrupt him, because it takes so much effort.
I just got the fucking T down. All right.
Stumbles getting up one time and a preschooler book falls out. Like, oh no. First letters.
The jig is up.
Unfortunately, the edition of Grimm's Fairy Tales that I have on my shelf here is over 100 years old and is falling apart, and it is no longer readable. So
that's why Steven didn't just flip through it for me.
I did you not see me? I opened it up and I had to start taking out pages. I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. Yeah.
You are a 2-inch picture on my monitor, so no, I did not quite get that from that.
Oh man!
And you have too many books for me to have memorized. This is going down as an actual conspiracy theory now.
Yes.
Well, that's canon. There's nothing I can do about it.
While Amanda writes that down, I have a question. What is everyone's least favorite song and why? And you cannot say all of them.
Can't remember any of them.
You can't remember the entire 2 hour and a half is song. You can't remember any of them?
He emotionally blocked out the parts he didn't like.
Which
I
was
do
the
that.
movie?
Just sat there crying in the corner.
Oh, the one you guys like the one where Whitney Houston is singing.
Impossible?
I feel like
That is your
The
least
one.
favorite? Oh
Why?
my
Again,
gosh,
I want.
Gary.
You're entitled to your opinions. They're wrong, but why?
Okay,
entitled.
like the lyrics, maybe it's from the original old play, but I was like, she starts singing gibberish, and I was like, that sounds like somebody who was super fucking high was like, what are you gonna sing? Doodly doop dap doop da. And I was like, and then we're just gonna say the rest of the words. And I was like, oh, okay. Like we're gonna rest on that on our laurels with doody da doop da. Okay, whatever. Like
Listening
everything
to Gary
else was
just
like it started with gibberish, and then it kind of got some feet under it, and then she went back to gibberish, and I was like, sorry, wipe my hands of this, I'm done. You had a good, you were on the climb up, and you were just like just went back to gibberish.
I just heard
That's
Gary
so-
like trash Broadway like musical like amazing songs, and I just
Okay,
don't know how to
you guys-
Does
handle
that
it.
surprise you?
Did the gibberish not take away from you? It took
No.
me away out of it.
This is a story that has bippity boppity boo in the original.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
tradition.
just musicals,
That's
man.
what it was. They, instead of saying bibbity bobbity boo, she just put some other fucking
wants-
gibberish in.
Standardized.
I came here for the classics.
Right?
Play the fucking
I already
hits.
knew it was gonna happen, therefore it lost points. Also, they used new words, so I didn't know it was gonna happen, so they lost points.
Oh man. Gary's in the theater. Nope. Gets up and just leaves. Good
Okay.
day, sir.
I'll have to go find the lyrics to this fucking song because whatever the fuck it is, it was just not good.
Balderall and Flibbity Dee. Yeah.
Fiddly, fiddly, fiddly.
Twaddly twat or whatever she says.
So I wanted
Yeah.
to point out here real quick while we're trashing this movie a little bit
Nick
more.
asked this question.
It does
I
have
regret nothing.
it does have 22 nominations under awards and 3 wins under this thing. Like this
7
wasn't
primetime Emmys.
Yes, this wasn't something that was just absolute garbage that it was released into the ecosphere. It was actually kind of good. So
Mm-hmm.
Or was 1997 television that bad?
right
Now we were
Okay,
just mentioning
fair.
Seinfeld was on.
You're entitled to your opinions, Gary. I asked the question. I was just curious. Anybody else? Really strong opinion?
trying to think of
I don't have the same level of trauma as Gary, clearly. I am literally trying to rank like, God, what is the least? Instead of saying the one that I like the least, it'd be like, what's the least favorite?
Especially you,
Probably the
yeah,
one
you-
they
you
sing in
like
the very beginning. It's
The
not
Princess
not
Giving a
bad. It's
Ball?
just no, the one before that when they first meet and she drops all her stuff in the street.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're
Sweet-
walking
Like the
through the-
sweetest,
sounds.
the sweetest sounds. Like nothing wrong
Oh,
with the song. It's
yeah.
a good enough song. I just like all the other songs better.
That's fair.
And I pulled up the Wikipedia for the musical numbers here to try and remind myself what they were called. And so one of the changes that was noted from the original version is that they actually added 3 songs from other Rodgers and Hammerstein productions into this version. That is one of them. Sweetest Sounds is not normally a Cinderella song. So,
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
Little
What other
tidbit that
ones
it's Falling in Love with Love is originally from The Boys from Syracuse.
Oh.
And There's Music in You at the End is from Main Street to Broadway. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Falling in Love with Love might be down there too. I like the Stepsisters Lament.
Yep.
Impossible's pretty high up there.
I liked In My Own Little Corner. I think that's a fun song.
Love that
that's a
one.
fucking classic song.
It's classic, and the "Do I Love You" because I don't know what the title of it's called. "Do I Love You Because You're Wonderful" thing.
Do
Did
I Love You Because
100%.
You're Beautiful is the name of the song.
I did sing that to my daughter, and she told me no. So I don't know if that means no, I don't love her, or like no, she doesn't want me to sing.
I
But we've got some work to do.
so I asked the question. I don't have to go last, but that one's actually my least favorite. Is "Do I Love You Because You're Wonderful,"
Interesting.
and only because the words actually, in my own opinion, discredit the song. It's like, "Do I love you because you're wonderful," or "Do I love you?" It's like, dude, just say you love her. Like, why are you questioning the validity of your feelings? To me, it sounds odd that it's like he's wafting back and forth on, do I really love you, or am I just not really in love with you? It's weird.
It's a fair interpretation. I guess I take it as because they just met. That's the only reason. Opposite of Anna.
Now that's
Tyler,
a banger.
What's your least favorite song, Tyler?
Tyler does not remember a single song from this entire movie.
Tyler's brain is bleeding from this.
This was abuse, Amanda.
We watched a guy swinging a fucking log for 5 minutes straight last time. This is fine.
I'm not saying this is a bad movie here. This is not my movie.
Obviously, torture depends on the person and needs to be specific.
As far as my least favorite song, probably "The Princess Getting a Ball." It's structurally just the type of song that I just never really care for in musicals. It's like, hey, we're doing something cool, like, yeah, sure, like, just didn't stand out to me. Least favorite.
Fair enough.
I think I probably have to go with "Do I Love You Because You're Beautiful" as well, and that's maybe part of it is I only remember the songs that I like, so I don't super remember the other ones that I don't. I don't necessarily hate any of the songs, that being said.
Yeah. Agreed.
As far as the timing for some of the different parts in the show, like you're talking about with JC's comment about songs being added in, I had only seen this on stage not too long ago, and sisters sang the song. Sisters sang the song about the sisters sang the song about why would a fellow ever want a girl like her earlier on in the show, and it was when it was at one point, I think, when Cinderella's talking about wanting to go to the ball before they actually go to the ball.
Oh, it's before.
At least in the production that I had seen, it might have been a directorial choice or something different as far as that particular production. But yeah, it was. So when I saw this movie, I thought to myself, "Oh crap! Did they not have that song? Because that song is so much fun." And then having the sisters do it at the ball, I thought made much more sense, and it was fun to watch them dance around the water fountain. So I thought that was an interesting interpretation. Yeah, there were a couple songs like JC mentioned that that were classic ones that probably have been in here for forever, but watching this movie was fun to see them come out. That's like, oh, that's right, that song is from this. Oh, that's right, this song is in here. It was fun.
Other than that, I will say I am glad that Amanda made us listen, or I guess, yeah, listen to it technically, but watch this movie. Just because like I said, I didn't realize that I didn't like it. I actually thought that I would hate this, and I didn't end up hating it, and I enjoyed the viewing.
I was expecting something different, obviously.
What were you
High
expecting,
art.
Gary? I am curious.
High end of action blockbuster.
A little,
Sets the
I don't know, a
dramatic.
little more,
Better scenic design.
If they had a better, cast, more involved cast, better sound effects, better graphics.
Put words in my mouth. I was expecting a Disney theatrical level of sets, design,
Production.
music, production value, and it was a made-for-TV movie. And I think age, budget, and it just didn't. Nothing really was super wow to me. Like, and none of the songs really stuck out as real earworms. So, I don't know.
Quick question on that, real quick. What you mentioned that it wasn't a Disney quality, kind of a stage production. and this might just be me.
Think of a
Did
Mary
Disney-
Poppins. Think of a Bedknobs and Broomsticks, like an
Okay.
actual to
I just couldn't think
theaters level Disney movie.
I couldn't think of any of those other movies, so that's what I was asking for, was for a list other movies that were live action, basically.
Like compare the sets in this versus like a Mary Poppins. Like,
Do you? I'm interested. I'm intrigued that you mentioned that, Gary. Do you think that has anything to do with the setting, like that this is meant to be fantasy fictional Cinderella versus Mary Poppins is very clearly England?
Fantasy fictional. Mary Poppins is supposed to take place in London during the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, something like that.
The setting of this is a little more, I'm sure, up to interpretation as to when the actual time period is, or if it exists anywhere. I don't know if this even exists on Earth 726 or whatever Earth is.
Do they ever actually mention a place? Like they say kingdom, but do they ever say like a name, anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
I think you're right. Yeah, I can't think
Kingdom
of
of
one.
Agrabah.
Right? Can't find Agrabah on any map.
I could find Agrabah on a map. Don't question me.
Cave of Wonders, right here.
Do they actually say Agrabah, Steven, or are you just making that up?
No, I'm making that's from Aladdin. No.
Yeah, no, I know it is, but I was like, I couldn't rule out in my head.
In Aladdin, Agrabah is where the story takes place. It's Prince Ali of Ababwa. Ababwa doesn't exist on the map in Aladdin. It's a made-up country in Aladdin.
Also true.
Anyway.
Great. I'm going to have all those songs stuck in my head for forever. Hey, did you guys know that Robin Williams was in Aladdin?
What?
I've heard that.
Now that's a top tier cast. That's a production.
Williams is Aladdin, basically.
You don't see any damn squiggle squirrels on the windows and the walls.
And Robin Williams demanded that he not be shown in any of the production art, like any of the advertising, and Disney broke their word. So that's why he was not in Aladdin 2. Something new I learned recently.
Thanks, Gary.
Interesting.
Random facts brought to you by Narcon.
The more you know.
Where's the Gary's random facts card? I need that.
Yes.
Steven's history and Gary's random facts.
Right?
Brought to you by Narcan. Jeez. That one almost missed me. Oh, it's just terrible. Trying to think of any other questions.
You guys got most of all mine. Some of them you jumped on before I got there.
If you could sum up this movie as why it was your nostalgic favorite as a kid, what would be the thing that sticks out to you the most, Amanda?
I remember my mom calling us like hurriedly from the other room because like then it's not like kids these days don't know. You didn't just pause it or stream it. You had to like rush in there, and if you didn't know ahead of time something was going to be playing, like you had to be there, and we would drop what we were doing and rush everything, and we would. I'm pretty sure this is a big favorite of my mom's too, because we would be allowed to eat dinner in the living room, which is an unknown treat back then.
Appointment television. I'm sure this was like on a Friday night or whatever. It was like a one-time airing. Like they probably advertised it for weeks of like this Friday or this whatever day.
Man, I forgot.
Right.
I
guess it was a Sunday, like a Sunday night after football.
Like I'm wondering if my parents like paid attention to that and planned for this. Like all of my memories are for like instantly. I had like 30 seconds notice of like you need to get it here and you need to get it over here now. Like it's playing and like we rushed. So it was like a fun like family thing. My mom, my sisters did, and I was very little. And then we created games around it after that. We created Cinderella cleaning games and stuff like that, which are not really the greatest.
I gotta learn those for my kids.
Yeah, we created our Cinderella cleaning game was one of us sang any song we could think of, which again I was like 7, so imagine how good our singing skills were. And for as long as you sang, the other person grabbed all the toys and stuff on the floor, whatever they could find, and put them in a pile for you. Whenever you stopped singing, that was your pile to put away. And then you sang for the other person while they created a pile. So like we literally did twice as much work because you had to gather all the stuff, put it in a pile, and then that person would go put it away. Like you could have just put it away when you picked it up the first time. But hey, whatever got the room clean, you know?
Whatever. Yeah. Something I was just thinking about. Did anyone notice commercial breaks when they watched the movie? I didn't even think about it, but there probably was commercial breaks.
I think I noticed spots for them.
I'm sure they're in there.
I
didn't even think of that, but yeah.
I don't think anything really stood out, but I'm thinking back, I'm sure there's definitely spots where you could go, oh, I bet they could have cut it here in like a scene transition or something like that.
I forget about that in those made for TV ones. Like they planned that.
And I'm sure as it's filmed, it's very much set in however many like 10-minute acts before you have a commercial break.
Mm-hmm. I won't know the technical film term for this, but even when the movie came on and I was watching the beginning where the Walt Disney logo and the castle and the thing, and like the whole logo seemed like it was like trembling. And I was like, oh, look at that part. It hasn't. I don't know if that means it wasn't made for what I'm watching it on now, but it looks very old now. Not the same logo. With the high def and the fireworks, or has that changed? I haven't watched one in a while.
It's still that.
It is the logo at the beginning is definitely an older school version of their logo.
Where it writes out the Walt Disney.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was
all
like
in
in
red versus now it's all, I think, silver is Walt Disney all in
white.
silver, and there's always a castle in the background. I don't know. I think probably after it's the Cinderella castle, but I don't think it was always there. Anyway,
I don't know.
I
remember the old blue screen where it would like come down with Cinderella, not Cinderella, but Cinderella's castle in like layers, and then at the very end it would write Walt Disney under, and then Tinkerbell's light star would fly over the top.
Tinkerbell's light star.
I don't know what the hell it is. You know what it is.
Her chemtrail.
Tinkerbell's chemtrail.
Gay.
Hashtag. Listener, if you can write Tinkerbell's chemtrail, that's what we're looking for to pick a winner for this podcast.
Tinkerbell's chemtrail.
That's the magic phrase. Along with Cinder, Ella, an administrative fairy tale.
If someone does make a Cinderella fairy tale, the administrative version, it has to be voiced by the guy who does it's not Gary's Mod. What is the Stanley's Parable? The guy who does Stanley's Parable. This is Cinderella.
This is a story.
Gary, did you check the running time for this while you were looking up all the other facts?
I already knew it was 1 hour, 26 minutes, 20-something minutes.
Oh.
Before I started this boat ride, I looked at how long it was going to take.
I knew I didn't need to look it up.
Let me go double.
I guess hearing that, it felt like it was longer than that to me.
1 hour, 28 minutes.
But I thought the story was short.
It's because they had all those musical breaks in there.
Right.
I felt like it had a good pace to it. I didn't notice it particularly dragging or anything, so yeah.
I didn't actually realize it was that short. Like, our high school classes were 90 minutes long. That's literally shorter than...
It's a good time frame for a made-for-TV movie, though.
I'm just
So
scanning
hour
some aspects
28,
on
which meant it was probably a 2.5 hours on television or 2 hours.
back
Two
in the
and a half,
day.
two and a
They
half.
they didn't have it as bad, so it looks like it was just a 2-hour block in the original
Oh.
release years.
I wonder what parts got cut.
They just didn't have as many ads then.
Oh,
Only 32 minutes of ads in 2 hours.
Only, yeah.
Was a
Not like
simpler
today.
time.
Yeah, broadcast originally on November 2nd, 1997. 40 years after the original broadcast. Telecast aired to over 60 million viewers. Basically crushed ratings, became ABC's best watched Sunday night program in more than 10 years. Most watched program during the network's 2-hour, 7 to 9 p.m. time slot in 13 to 14 years. Yeah.
I did see a notice here again on IMDb. It says it holds the record for the best-selling video for a made-for-TV movie
Yeah, at
with
that
those
time.
primetime Emmys.
It
Yeah.
always feels like it's one of those ones that no one ever talks about, but like I mentioned it to a couple random people in the last 2 weeks and they were like, "Oh, I love that movie," but you don't hear it talked about. Those made for TV ones were kind of funny like that. You don't really like I love the music on here, but you can't find it on like Spotify or something. They just have the Broadway versions.
A fun aspect about that, they did not make a soundtrack album because Whitney Houston and Brandy's record labels could not come to terms on how
Ooh.
things would be split up.
Uh-oh,
So they
they
never
have hurt
actually
us.
even made an album.
Interesting.
that
They
is
have hurt me forever.
All about the greed.
that is silly, shall we say?
Sorry, Whitney Houston was an executive producer who could have
Houston.
starred in the movie.
Houston.
However, she decided not to and let Brandy be the star.
That she would have starred in it?
Yes,
Ben Cinderella?
I think Whitney Houston is a producer based on AI answers. She had
And the credits. You
Well,
saw
the
this
opening of the
movie,
movie,
right?
yes.
Quit saying AI.
When I Google searched it, it said that she was an executive producer. Because in the beginning, what caught me was like Cinderella presented by Roger and Hammerstein, presented by Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like Whitney Houston is like right below Robert
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hammerstein. Like
Walt Disney.
She's up
I
there.
wrote it down because it was like so interesting that the credits were like that. It's the Walt Disney intro was okay. The Wonderful World of Disney and Whitney Houston.
Pretty big
Oh,
couch for
interesting.
Whitney Houston.
that's like why I thought her wig was real weird. Like I thought she was shoehorned in because obviously she.
Wig.
Do you think that was her real hair?
I think that's her real hair.
I don't think so, Tim.
Thanks, Brian. I'm pretty sure that frizzed out look is her real hair. You've seen pictures of Whitney Houston from the 90s, right? Don't AI it. Did I ask that?
No, it's real. Like, look at the pictures, Nick. It is really, really big hair. Like, it is very much. There's some
Hairspray.
artificial hair in there.
Hairspray.
It was a real thing back then.
I was alive in the 90s. Everybody frizzed their hair like that. Not me, but yeah.
Not you.
Not me.
The listeners must
I did
know
not get on that
Nick
train.
is bald. So that's why. I knew Nick when he had hair. Like that's
This
how
is
long
true.
I've been friends with Nick.
when
I
he
knew
had
Nick
hair.
when he had hair.
This is true.
The before time.
Decades
Nick
ago.
had hair.
It sounds like Gary saying, "I knew Nick when he had hair, so I can say this about him. He's bald."
Yes.
This is true.
There's pictures of me next to Nick, and Nick still had some semblance of hair.
It's true. Yeah. No, I again, it's an opinion. You're free to disagree, but I'm 99.99% sure that's her real hair.
I'm sure if I Google search it, Google will not know the answer because there's not as many internet sleuths back in the 1990s.
That's true. How were costumes for you, Gary? You didn't like the scenery very well. How were the costumes?
Costumes
I
weren't
saw-
bad.
I saw a couple
weren't
notice.
bad.
Saw a couple notes in just looking online after I watched the video that said that the costumes were originally praised because they're very out there and flamboyant and kind of 90s too. Like a lot of things were very bright colors and flash and people trying to identify with different styles and I don't know.
This is probably good. It would be an unpopular opinion with everybody but you guys, but Cinderella's dress I was never a huge fan of.
The blue one?
Yeah, like it's okay for a dress, but I've never been a fan of honestly any of the Cinderella's dresses. I've never found one that I liked. Something about it just doesn't ever work for me. But that one is very 90s. Like I can see a lot of details that are reminiscent of prom dresses back in the day.
Very promish, I was thinking, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That you're definitely hemmed into. I think that people would have been up in arms if she had a different than blue, that baby blue
Yeah,
color dress.
definitely. And that, I mean, any of the Cinderellas are like that. I've just never found one of the Cinderella dresses that I was a huge fan of. Hers is probably the best one of them, but it's a magical moment when she transforms into it, but I was never like, oh my god, I love that dress and I wish I had that dress. I know you
Nick.
guys were feeling like that too.
Hold on, Gary's got a comment about her dress. Go ahead, Gary.
No. I had a comment about hair, and that's the internet says that Whitney Houston often wore wigs to protect her real hair. Anyway, I like dresses too. Continue.
Heard it here first, folks. Gary likes dresses.
Favorite Disney princess dress, Gary, go.
R-rated Cinderella.
Podcast After Dark.
I don't want to. Yeah, I probably shouldn't reveal these sorts of things.
Well,
what sort of dark rabbit hole have I gone down?
I don't even know how to come back from that.
You don't.
Anyway, Nick was asking, like, I did think the outfits were the least off the wall. Like they seem cohesive and they seem to follow the story. The town looked very like cardboard cutout. The interiors of the house looked very cardboard cutout. The palace for the ball scene looked like it was definitely the largest set of all of them. Like it looks like it was a very large structured set. But yeah, I thought everything was the sets were kind of cardboardy, but the outfits were fine. Like they were believable. There wasn't anything super cheap looking about the outfits.
The stepsisters had some interesting fashion, but I think that's meant for their characters to highlight the absurdity of them. Oh no, I had a thought.
That's always a bad thing.
Oh no. A dangerous. Oh man, you were talking about outfits and you had me thinking about it.
Gary said he liked dresses, something.
Yeah, so in thinking about the outfits reminded me, I feel like back then a lot of movies did focus on a smaller amount of main characters. Today we have had TV shows that will focus on a huge variety of characters. I did find that a little interesting this time. There's not a lot of characters. And it would have been I think you could have really made it a bigger, more fleshed out story with more people in there. Like there's literally only like these 7, 8 people in like the entire world. It feels like, yeah, you get a bunch of extras roaming around, but there's no one else that these people interact with, basically.
That's true.
Yeah.
That actually is true. I think there's only 9 people who have names, including fairy godmother. Other than that, it's like coachman, dancer, dancer, dancer,
Yeah.
dancer.
And then Dander is actually in the credits as well.
Oh.
One of the dancers has a typo in their credits.
Oh. They don't even have lines either, right? Like nobody's like, oh yes, that apple here, lady, at the market is 5 cents. You know, like nobody says anything. Interesting.
Like remarkably
your
lack of
opinion?
anything. Not even hello or like your majesty, nothing.
I remember that was like one thing that stood out to me early on. Now that you mentioned too, is like whenever their first meeting and Prince is incognito and he accidentally bumps into like somebody's cart, and like she's like, "Oh, you messed up now," and he like goes to like start picking up, and it's like there's no shop owner there saying like, "Hey, my cart, what are you doing?" Listen, like
My cabbages.
yeah, he's just like it's just an abandoned cart out in the street, just
right.
All right, well, nobody cared. Why bother picking it up?
Lionel with his Italian accent.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So Nick, you're not offended by the cardboard cake? I think we mentioned the cardboard cake.
No.
That was.
It's again, musical theater. Like his job is to dance around with the cake. So you can't make a realistic cake. Obviously, it would topple over. But if it's supposed to be something that he's supposed to hoist and dance around without it weighing 50 tons and killing him, or probably multiple takes because you're not going to dance it perfectly every time, you want it to be as light as possible. So yeah, it's probably made out of cardboard or some sort of really, really thin material to hold its shape and held together with glue. So it's meant to look cardboardy. Because the premise, that's like, not to pick on Amanda, but for a 7-year-old watching it, it's like, oh, he's dancing around with the cake. That's hilarious. Ha ha ha. They don't get the physics of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure in some sense, like
I knew it wasn't real.
In some sense, it might even be an intentional homage to have it look cheap because it's a callback to the fact that it is a long-running play and an old prop sort of thing. Like it doesn't need to be a real cake for any actual purpose, but
right.
Might intentionally make it look similar to a previous version that was cheap at that point.
It's collecting dust in some Disney warehouse, and they're like, "Hey, go grab the 7-tiered chocolate cake from warehouse B."
Wedding cake delivery people today are jealous of the ability of that cake to just not get damaged when it's moved.
Right.
Does anyone want to rate the dancing? I actually enjoyed the dancing in that song.
The village dancing, very formulaic. The ball dancing I thought was organized chaos, which was slightly better.
Organized chaos was slightly better.
Yes, because everyone in the town is like dancing in lines and very much in rhythm, whereas the ball is like Jason Alexander trying to the push and pull between the king and the and Jason Alexander. The prince and Jason. Like the butler's trying to bring women over and then trades off with the prince and drags them back to the edge. So it's kind of organized chaos.
That has to
it's a more complex choreography to manage a lot of different styles and rhythms and parts there, as opposed to just like, all right, line dancing. Texas folks can do line dancing. It's not that hard.
And all those other women got the memo to dress in like purples and blues, and that memo was missed. Obviously on purpose.
I thought the theme there is to help, blend all of the other extras into the background, and then obviously Cinderella stands out, and then the stepsisters stand out too, that they're the oddities from what is the normal. Good costuming.
Honestly, reminded me a little bit of Bridgerton for a second there. If any of you, anyone?
I have a passing
Yes,
affiliation
yes,
with Bridgerton.
actually, I understand
Mrs.
exactly.
watches Bridgerton, but I have not seen enough of it. But yes,
Those citrus colors on the stepsisters, but the blues and purples for everybody else.
I thought the dancing was good. Nobody's doing like a backflip or anything really amazing that makes it like a 10 or a 12, but I give it an 8 or a 9.
I
A
guess
lot of extras.
similar to the
coordinate.
extras not having any lines, all of the extra dancers don't really have any individuality. They are the same cardboard cutout people in slightly different outfits. Like for the town dance, it's like, oh, you're a baker. We're gonna give you a little bit different outfit and a little different hat, but you're all just gonna dance. Like you all practice this. Like there's nothing original about any of you.
That's theater. That's what they're supposed to. That's why it says dancers, and there's only like 12 names listed, even though you see 100 people dancing in the streets. Yeah. There aren't that many talented people, Gary. You can only find so many people to put on Disney's payroll.
When you're only paying 9 people to talk, like there's not a lot of room for anyone else.
Again, you've blown all the money on the A-listers for your cast.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 people with speaking roles that we can think of. That actually seems higher than I would have even thought, but it just doesn't seem a lot of people. And we've had shows recently, like, well, recently-ish, but like Game of Thrones, I remember that being a lot of a thing in the beginning when everyone's like, "There's just so many people, I never know what they're talking about," and I was like, "What do you mean? It's very obvious who's talking and where." They're in totally different environments. And I think it's interesting that how they've learned that audiences actually can handle that many different characters.
Game of Thrones was confusing until you get a chance to rewatch it. So if you hadn't if you're illiterate like me, you only get one chance of every introduction to characters. And so you have to sometimes rewatch to understand who they are and how that guy with the funny hat is different than that other guy with the funny hat.
I do think that this movie for Cinderella is kind of a product of its placement in the timeline too, because I mean, you think of talking of Jason Alexander, shows like Seinfeld or Friends only have the same 5 or 6 people that spark every storyline you have. There is no 20-person cast. Even in more contemporary, newer-ish shows like How I Met Your Mother or The Big Bang Theory, the only ones that jump into mind right now, like traditional sitcoms, you only have like the same 6, maybe 7 people. And then later on, like it's their periphery friends, but they're not seen as prominently, where you get other interactions outside of that main group of characters. Whereas shows like Game of Thrones in the real contemporary sense had characters with, 18 different people were kind of the main story drivers in their own way.
Well, like Game of Thrones, there could be someone who shows up and is only introduced once, but they still play that same person in the background of scenes. Like, the Mountain didn't have a whole lot of lines. He was 3 different actors.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's
and yet an important
too.
character. Yeah.
You don't realize, like you said, Gary, to your credit, until you go back and rewatch those kind of continuously, where you're like, oh, dang, that really sticks out like a sore thumb. But when they come out one a week for the span of 10 years or whatever the run was, you don't notice that as readily as when you go back and watch them, 4 episodes in a month or in a week, whatever it was. Interesting.
And to its credit, I mean, Game of Thrones being a long-running series with multiple, like, it's not trying to get through its entire story in 90 minutes of screen time. So
makes a big difference.
That's
enough for you to love or despise the characters and call it good.
Exactly. They're going to be bitching about the background scenery the entire time, so you got to just get them out there and then move on.
Eventually we can get to like Cinderella 7 and then like one of the stepsisters will die, and then you can introduce 2 more stepsisters that were from a long lost family. And
There you go.
Oh no.
Okay.
Then a carriage
Story gets
jumps
really-
a submarine.
The story gets really
Right.
crazy when Cinderella goes to Essos. There's this whole
Mr. Nobody was really great in Cinderella 7, though. Am I right? Like
I remember
Kurt Russell really just chewed the scenery. Loved it.
It's good stuff.
Okay, so here's another thing that stood out about the stepsisters. That was a tough line. There was only 2 of them. I thought in the cartoon there was 3 stepsisters, and some of the other iterations there's 3 stepsisters. Or is there always only 2? I thought there was 3 for some reason.
2, and they both wear those same colors too. Like I assumed that was an homage to the cartoon, the animated version. They tend to wear that greens and the pinks.
You're thinking of the mother, Gary?
The stepmother?
Yeah, actually, that was the original confusion because the mother, obviously, she's a name actress, so you don't dress her as old. Like, I felt like she was dressed as middle-aged. She wasn't dressed as, like, grandma. Future grandma. She wasn't dressed as future grandma. She was dressed as, like, second marriage mother-in-law.
Googling how old was Bernadette Peters?
Me wondering how old was the stepmother in the original animated version. Her kids are like 16?
Cinderella movie. 49. Oh. Take away what you will.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, until you mentioned it, yeah, I would not have recalled that the stepmother was as old as she looks from the animated version, but yeah.
As the oldest member of the podcast, I don't think that's that old.
Well, no, Bernadette's not. She's playing it right, but yeah, compared to the animated version, if that's your frame of reference, then
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
It's-
point.
You know, the hair done up completely gray, much more prim and proper. Probably meant
mean,
to be.
Those
But
2
more
kids I
nature
can
like-
kind of see driving you to early grayness, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the only excuse I give her.
The laugh that's infectious with the snort. Did that do it for you, Gary?
It was the snort was better in the household scene than it was at the ball. It wasn't as pronounced. I feel like there was a better snort to be had at the ball. It was a more what'd you call it? You bring it back. It was a more
Reserved.
reserved. Thank you. It was a more reserved snort. I felt like a reserved snort should have been at home, and then the snort at the ball should have been very extravagant. I thought it was an underwhelming snort.
An underwhelming snort.
The tagline for the movie, really. Or maybe that's the R-rated Cinderella is an underrated snort.
Ba-dum-ching.
Oh, jeepers.
Any other thoughts?
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate the
suggesting it.
recommendation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was an
Anytime.
adventure.
Off the beaten path.
It was a
For sure.
movie.
It was a movie I wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Agreed. Yes.
Goal achieved.
Broadening horizons.
There you go.
Becoming better people for it.
Maybe not.
That's a tall
Well,
order for you, Gary. I understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nope. I'm glad you guys. I appreciate you guys watching it. It's definitely one that you'll randomly catch me humming the tunes to. So now you guys will know what it's from, for good or for bad.
For better or for Amanda.
Exactly.
Well, now you make me sad that there's not a soundtrack of it, so I could,
I'm
listen
still
to it
sad.
without the rest of the blah and see if
Like-
the songs are a little more infectious.
Obviously, I've seen the movie a few times, so there was nothing new in it this time other than new thoughts or new angles. However, you guys gave me new information. The reason why, the answer to the fact that I have never found the music whenever I randomly do this. And this probably comes up a couple times a year when I'm just like, I just want to play the music, and I end up resorting to YouTube because I'm like, I want that version of the music.
Maybe you all already did this, but I just looked on Spotify, another shameless plug, and Laura Osnes, maybe I'm saying that right, is the name who's singing the songs for Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. But I'm looking up who Laura Osnes is or who she played.
Are you sure that's the right version? Because again, the 1957 version is also titled Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Okay.
Laura Osnes is looks like a more contemporary, newer person. I don't know if they did a version of this at one point. Yeah. I don't see a Cinderella credit in their filmography.
Someday, maybe.
Amanda, did you want us to kind of cover final thoughts on the movie here? Do you think you kind of got everything from us?
I think we're halfway there. Does anyone have any final last offerings for good or for bad? Nuggets of wisdom.
Magic
Thoughts to
swirls.
leave us with.
Did anyone like the magic
Swirls.
swirls were good with everybody?
Oh, swirls. God, I heard magic squirrels, and I
Squirrels.
was like, what
I
is...
missed that.
What did you
Which version did
watch?
Carrie watch?
Hashtag underwhelming
Squirrels?
snort.
No wonder he thought it was crazy.
Swirls.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
The visual effects for magic in this, made for TV, obviously. It's a choice. It's part of the art direction of the movie in general, but I thought it's a choice.
yeah, it didn't look good to me, but okay. I understood it to be just more budget constraint, so it didn't take me out of it. Or
Nah, I
anything. It
agree.
just was. Yeah.
It's totally down there in terms of effects. Just budget constraints, 90s, but they could have done better.
I liked it. It was fun.
Magic swirls.
Mhm.
I feel
I'm
like Gary
sorry.
would pronounce it better. Like magic
I'm disappointed now too
swirls.
that there weren't magic squirrels. Yeah.
Everyone's disappointed when there aren't magic squirrels in a movie. I'm just
Yeah, no other. I don't think I did not have a lot of notes. Like yeah, it was once I started sticking on the art direction of the movie. I was just like it never changed. The art direction never elevated. The music got slightly better, but I didn't take a lot of notes.
Yeah, I too didn't really take a lot of notes there. It was Cinderella, but with more music than the Disney animated version.
And you didn't think that was possible, did you?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
It's almost as if these daft and dewy-eyed dopes keep dreaming up impossible hopes.
Impossible.
Impossible things are happening every day.
I definitely won't be sneaking in impossible quotes in the next couple podcasts.
Just a sly slip of a flibbledy-bee and all that stuff.
Especially for Gary. All the gibberish.
Yep.
La-di-da and fiddly-dee.
Anything else then, Amanda?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right, good to wrap it up. Or did you want that final? What did everyone think of it, or we think we got it?
I think we got it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what? I just looked here earlier too what our next movie is, and now I've completely blanked on it. I think it's Steven's movie is up next. Yes,
I think so.
Oh,
Primary Colors is up next. For Gary's benefit, it's 2 hours and 24 minutes long.
I was about to say, you need to make sure to schedule a little bit of time for this.
All right.
For my benefit, I need to set aside more time. I guess
For
that
your
works.
goddamn benefit.
Gary's
I
always
do
the
not
one who
start
watches
movies before 10 o'clock at night, so it is what it is.
I think you want to rephrase that because you do start movies. Oh, right before 10 o'clock at night. Yes. Now I'm following your logic here.
I heard
Yes.
that the other way around too. At first, I was.
I just don't listen to Gary.
Until after 10 o'clock. Anyway, whatever.
Yes.
2.5 hours.
Yes. 2.5 hours.
I got a long weekend ahead. Maybe that's when
true.
I gotta put in the time.
All right. Do we have any final thoughts or anything like that for closing it up here?
I'm excited to hate whatever movie Steven picked. I mean, I'm it will be personal. This one wasn't personal.
Will be he's not gonna like the movie. He's not gonna like the movie, but it's not because of the movie. It's because of me.
It's really personal.
Will hate it. Will be personal.
All right. Well,
All the signs now are just Steven. Boo Steven.
Well, before we get on the Steven hate train too much here at the end of this episode, that'll do it then for this episode here. We want to thank everyone, the one listener, for listening. Until next time, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.